welcome to episode 131 of the Slightlee Daily Podcast. I have a guest. It's been a while since I've had a guest. I have a brand new guest, too, on top of that. So this is a beautiful thing. Let's just get into it. Introduce yourself. Yeah, let's start there. Introduce yourself, please.
I'm Austin Swink. I'm an amateur MMA fighter, and I train at Phoenix MMA in Mount Juliet. We used to be in Hermitage, but the gym moved to Mount Juliet to like I would say it's a smaller location, but it's more quote-unquote safe location.
Okay.
We moved from a different spot in Hermitage because there would be some homeless people walking around.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But
so let's start here because there's a lot to unpack because, like, I mean, when you say MMA, not a lot of people, one, watch MMA or even have met someone who has competed in MMA, you know? So I think this is a really cool experience that I'm about to have for me. So tell me when you started to take a liking to MMA, you know, what was like kind of your introduction to like combat sports, I guess is what I'm asking.
when it comes to, in general, mixed martial arts, I would call wrestling a martial art. And I did that freshman year of high school. And that kind of happened out of nowhere. Believe it or not, I played football in freshman year when I was like 5'3", 110 pounds, maybe even less. But it was after football season, and I was walking to the bus.
I did wrestling.
Right. And I had no like clue what I wanted to do sport-wise because football was over. But I wasn't planning on doing anything anyway. And I was walking to the bus, and the wrestling coach seen me walking, and he was like, he's seen how tiny I was. Right. That's the only reason he came up and talked to me. They needed a 106-pounder for the tournament the next day. Like, no practice or anything. And he was like, how much you weigh? And I was like, probably like 100, 105. And he was like, well.
Perfect.
Yeah, and me, like, on the football team, obviously, I'm small. I didn't start or anything.
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, getting in the last 30 seconds of the game. But he was like, you'll have a varsity spot if you come on. And I was like, sure, I'll show up. I'll be there tomorrow. Showed up next day. Had to wrestle 5 people that day. Lost every single one. But what was more crazy is
what was the first time you ever did it?
Right, yeah. What was more crazy is like not a single practice. So like all these kids had like maybe 2 weeks at least training, even if they're freshmen going against me. And I would go out, and right before I go out on my first match, I asked my coach, can I punch him? Because I literally thought it was like a WWE match.
Yeah,
I
like
thought
WWE.
I thought that's what I was about to get into, but it was not. He literally told me just try and put him to his back, and I was like, cool.
Can I punch him?
That didn't work out too well.
That's funny. So, okay. Started out with just, you know, traditional American, what do you call that?
Folk style wrestling.
Okay, regular wrestling.
Right.
Started out with that. It's crazy because I loosely follow UFC and stuff. Like, I like the UFC, and you notice that a lot of UFC fighters start out and have a wrestling background, like Daniel Cormier, you know, like Olympic wrestlers.
It's a great base.
It's a good base. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a good start to, I mean, because I don't know if, like, for people who don't follow, like, professional mixed martial arts, it's different than any other sport because it's like a mixture of boxing, judo, wrestling, jujitsu, and all, so it's like all types of shit put together, you know. And so yeah, it's just cool that you know, that's how you got your base, I guess.
Yeah,
so
I think wrestling works very well because of the pace. Like you're going at it 100%, like one-on-one, using every muscle in your body.
Mean, the circle's like this big.
Right, yeah.
Like, you can't run.
And you get points like taken away from you if you do run. They'll call stalling.
If you don't challenge,
right,
really.
Yeah. If you're not going, the goal, you have to be going forward or at least standing your ground. If you go backward, they'll call stalling, and you get like 2 warnings, and then they'll start taking points.
Damn, I never knew that. Okay, so when did you get into
like striking
MMA, like, as a fan?
As a fan, honestly, it was after I joined the Jiu-Jitsu gym. I didn't even watch UFC. And at one point, when I was in school, I had someone ask me if wrestling would work in a fight or if I would ever take it to try to do some UFC.
Yeah.
And when I heard that the first time, I said to get punched in the face for money sounds stupid. It does. It does.
It does. With
it
no
doesn't sound
pads?
that smart.
Yeah.
But now, when I went to a jiu-jitsu gym. I had some coworkers I worked with at a bar in Nashville at FGL House. Shout out to Hunter and David. They brought me to the gym and told me, like, if you did wrestling, you probably would like this. So I trained for about 3 months. And then
jiu-jitsu.
Right, jiu-jitsu. Okay. Grappling, jiu-jitsu is just fighting without punching, basically. So you're doing all these positions. You're trying to choke somebody, trying to, like, do joint submissions, arm bars and stuff like that.
Arm bars, legs and knee bars.
The first tournament went well too, but what was more crazy, I was 19 when I went in, and the age group was like 19 to 29. So like I had a dude, the first dude I went against and the only dude I went against that day, he was 28 years old when I was 19. So it was just weird going against like a grown man.
Do they have like in like a jiu-jitsu tournament, do they have like weight classes and stuff?
Yeah, they'll have weight classes and belt level.
Okay.
Like they have it like really specified who you're going against.
Which makes sense.
Like age groups too, like 39 to 30 or like 49 to 50, like stuff like that.
So it was wrestling and then the jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
That's kind of was your path.
Yep.
Okay.
And then right after that, I had a teammate, Xavier and Trey. They had a kickboxing fight, and it was like at an MMA event. There's MMA fights, but there's also kickboxing fights.
Yeah.
It was just
that's how a lot of amateur. Yeah, they'll have like multiple different. So
I just went there to check it out, and my coach seen me there, and he just asked, "Hey, would you want to try this?" And I was like, "Sure." I mean, that's just how it kind of led. Like he just asked me, and I was like, "Yeah." I mean, I'm down. So, I think like maybe 2 months later. Maybe 3 months, he found me a fight, which was about like 12.
Kickboxing.
No, it was an MMA fight.
Oh, MMA.
It was it was the
MMA
fight. Yeah,
okay.
The one that Kobe went to.
If
you know what I'm talking about. But my first opponent pulled out. Like I had 12 weeks notice before the date. My first opponent like pulled out like 5 weeks before we were about to go, and not like I had any like crazy film on the guy because it was both our debuts.
Right.
But it was still hard because I knew the guy was a wrestler, and then I had to change because I found out the guy's a kickboxer. Not making any excuses.
Different style. Well, it's preparation in any sport.
Right.
Hockey, baseball, football. If you're in baseball and you got a pitcher, he's throwing this type of pitch.
Right.
This is his go-to, and he gets scratched the day before, and there's a different pitcher.
Right.
There's a left-handed pitcher instead. It's different.
Yeah. To me, it would be like if you're planning to play Golden State and then all of a sudden you had to plan to play Milwaukee on like 5 weeks for no reason.
Yeah, for no reason.
You had to worry about 3-pointers, then you had to worry about Giannis getting into the paint.
Yeah.
It's just different.
It is.
But it ended up working out. Besides me getting punched more than I wanted to be, but that was just because of my vision being impaired. You're not allowed to wear contacts, and I wear contacts and glasses when I'm training and stuff. So I had to take them out when I went in there. But all worked out. I got a 3rd round TKO.
So that fight, let's talk about that fight. You probably already answered this, but how long was your camp for that? What was like the preparation? Like really get me into, your training for that fight. Because that's your only fight you've done, correct?
Right. I think I would say Xavier and Trey's fight where my coach asked me if I wanted to do it was probably in December of 2020. December of 2020, and then he asked me if I wanted to do it, so I like started seriously training striking. I did about like 3 striking Muay Thai kickboxing classes before I started like seriously going and like making it like I study film at home about it and stuff like that.
And
I
putting
did that
it all together.
Right, I did that for about like 3 months, and then I told Corey, I was like, I think I'm ready to get in there. And he found me a fight relatively quickly. The promoters around here, they're like, once they hear you want to fight, they're trying to find you people so fast. It's kind of annoying.
Well, there's probably not a lot of people.
Yeah.
You're the only person I know who does this.
I just
competes in this.
Like 2 days ago, I had a MMA fighter hit me up asking if I wanted to fight him. Just like... It's just like people they want the fights to happen so quick and like and I guess that's how it is with amateur. They want you to get your experience in so you can go pro. But to me, like with my eyes, I was planning on taking it slow anyway. But once I get them fixed, which hopefully is June 10th, hopefully I can fight more often and not get hit as much. I may have went off from your question.
No, dude. That's the whole point of this thing is just to talk, bro. I just kind of wanted to take me through
the camp.
Yeah, take me through kind of like what it's like to be prepare to go to fucking war. You know what I'm saying? With another, once you're locked in there, bro, you're going to war.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It definitely feels like when the cage door locks. It feels like you feel like an animal in a sense, because like.
That's a good way to put it.
If you know what I mean, like a caged animal, and it's definitely a surreal experience because like the cage door actually has like a loud sound, and it's very like you'll remember that sound.
Yeah.
But like with the camp, about 12 weeks out is when I got the notice that I was probably going to fight on a certain date, which was June 12th. And so 12 weeks out, I planned. I don't have to cut much weight for 125.
What do you? Okay, you fight at 125,
which is the lowest weight class.
Yeah, that's flyweight.
Right, and then so I didn't have to cut much weight. Like when I found out I was fighting, I was probably walking around like 23, 24.
Yeah, so you're basically there.
Like I don't have to cut any weight. Yeah, I think I had to make 126.9.
I feel like a lot of flyweight fighters don't really have to cut a lot of weight because they're already so small.
They definitely don't cut.
You
much.
know,
yeah.
Like think about somebody like Brandon Moreno.
Yeah,
bro, he's literally 5'3".
Right. Yeah,
5'4". You know, and
I'm a really tall flyweight for 5'8".
How tall are you? 5'8". Yeah, exactly. So like, think about. I mean, Sean O'Malley, bantamweight, 135.
Yeah, and he's like 5'11".
Bro, he's like my height. He's like 5'11".
Yep.
Which I'm sure he has to cut a lot of weight. But
yeah, I think he walks around 50 something.
You know, it's. That's something I was wanting to ask you about too, like what weight class you're in and like what weight, how the weight cut was going to be, because I know that is like, bro, Khabib almost died.
Right, yeah. You know? I've had teammates go to the hospital and wrestling for it.
It's dangerous.
Yeah,
like,
your kidneys can fail and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff can happen.
Like, I mean, dude, the Gaethje fight just a couple weeks ago.
With Charles?
Yeah, with Charles. So like, you know, whenever Charles, you know, the weight cut happened, that was whatever, but like, Gaethje posted a picture like 30 minutes after the weight cut.
Saying he was like 10 pounds.
Yeah, bro. He was already up to like 163. Like he had already gained like 8 pounds in like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like that.
A lot of it's water.
It is.
Gaethje said he takes like they give you a jug of basically just electrolytes.
Yeah.
And you just sip on that.
I watched his Full Send podcast.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like,
he was just, he was saying literally, he was like, it tastes like shit, but it's just vitamins and minerals.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't have to cut a lot of weight, which actually I think that's what helped me win in my fight, because I had to have a big cardio base to do what I did to the kid, because I had to keep moving forward and not let up, because if I move back or kind of let him bounce around, the less I could see.
And you said he was more of a striker. He was
a 4-0 kickboxer.
Ooh, okay.
He was undefeated in kickboxing.
And then
amateur.
he made the transition to MMA.
Right, it was his first MMA fight.
Okay.
He knew he told me afterwards, because I'll explain this whole story. I had to take him to the airport. He came from Hawaii.
Oh wow!
So I had to, after the fight, he only came with his teammate. He didn't even come with the coach, and his teammate fought in the car too. So like his teammate had to coach him, and then go get in a fight like after or something, or vice versa. I can't remember. Right. And his teammate actually left him at the hotel, didn't give him a ride to the airport. What the fuck? Yeah, so he texts me.
So you beat the dude's ass.
Yes, exactly.
And took him to the airport.
Yes. I was out partying in Nashville with my friend because he just turned 21, and he texted me on Instagram, and he was like, "Hey, bro, tell me that his teammate left him." And I was like, "Well." No. We'll come out and get you. So we went out and got him and took him. And he told me that he found my Instagram and that he knew I was a grappler and that he didn't want me to get a hold of him at all. So he was running. Well, I wouldn't say running. He was strategically moving around the ring.
There's a difference. Like, bro, you can tell just from me being a spectator and like watching MMA for a year and a half. You can tell the pace of a fight.
Right.
Initially, you can tell the game plan. Like, bro, when Michael Chandler and Gaethje fought, those motherfuckers were trying to knock each other's heads off.
Yes, I know. They were going at it.
You know, and then you got...
The whole time, too.
The whole time.
Yes.
For all 3 rounds. Or did they do 5?
3.
They did 3. So
yeah,
for all 3
they did
rounds,
5, somebody might have died, man.
Exactly. Somebody would have got knocked out for sure. And then, like, there's other fights, like, you'll get, like, a wrestler and a jiu-jitsu guy. They're, like, all right, when do I go for the takedown? When do I shoot?
Grappling's tiring, man. Like, it's not fun.
Which is why they're trying to conserve their energy and be like, okay, when I shoot, I got to make sure that my energy is spent smart. Because if I shoot and miss here and then he fucking gets my head, I'm done. You know?
That's a real I guess it was like a ego demolisher. Like when you go for a takedown, you really think you're gonna get it, and you just miss completely. Like if you watch my fight, I try to take him down at least 3 times in the first two rounds together, and each time I missed, I would get up and get hit with a big shot. So eventually, and like in the third round, I was like, I'm not going for any more takedowns.
So
like,
you just stayed on your feet.
That's what we did. We just walked forward, got hit in the face, hit him in the face. He eventually just got tired and just kind of the pace got to him. And I can't wait till I get to have 5-minute rounds. Those are only 3-minute rounds, so I only get 9 minutes of time to really work somebody.
3-minute rounds.
Right, yeah.
I mean, it sounds it sounds like not a lot of time.
It doesn't.
But that's still,
yeah.
Even though 3-minute rounds is still a lot of time.
After
bro.
2, no offense to Corey if you watch this, but I told him I didn't need a stool when he came in because I thought I was in good enough shape, but I'd never been in a fight. I didn't know I'd never been in even a street fight. It was a higher pace than what a wrestling match is, just because you're doing everything, especially me, because I was trying to go for takedowns. But I told him I didn't need a stool, and he didn't bring one in for the first round. I stood up in between rounds, and then the second one, I was so tired. I was like,
sit down.
No, he didn't even bring a stool. Yeah, I just had to sit on the ground, but it was okay. I did tell him it was kind of my fault.
So you did win that fight though by like TKO?
Third round TKO.
Okay.
Yep.
Third round too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we were like halfway through it. He went for he had me up against the cage, and I just hit him with a teep to the body and a hook, and he was trying to like lean on me and throw a knee, and when he did that, I snapped him down. If you ever heard Tony Ferguson snap down City, when he tries to like throw people down and get behind him, I just basically did that.
So you dropped him with what?
I didn't really drop him, but kind of. I hit him with 2 strikes, and then he kind of fell.
Okay.
But I didn't drop him from the strike.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it count, man. You're 1-0.
Yeah, it was. I would say it's lucky. I did put in a lot of work, so it's hard to call it luck. But
well, I'll tell you this: even though you said he was 4-0 in kickboxing, he had more experience than you. He might not have been
in fights. At least it was striking. It was striking.
You know, like in competition, like you know, live competition, and not just sparring.
He also said he made his last dude seize. Like from a knock, that's all like spectacle. Like he said this,
right. Well, I mean, dude,
the shots he was hitting me with, I wouldn't doubt it. Like he was hitting me pretty hard.
Take me through.
We never finished like kind of the camp.
No, dude, you're good. Chill. It's you're good, bro.
Okay,
we'll just talk.
Okay,
don't worry about it. Wherever the conversation goes, it goes.
Okay.
Take me through being, like you said. I've never been in a fight ever in my life either. Street fight, nothing. I'm not a pussy, but also that's just not who I am.
I wouldn't say you're a pussy if you've never gotten in a street fight.
I just haven't. But take me through the mentality that you have sparring or in that fight to where you're getting hit and you're hurting, you know? Take me through kind of what your thought process is like
when I'm in the cage.
Yeah, like obviously like okay, fighting is like mostly just being tough as shit. How do you basically convince yourself that you're fine whenever you're getting just smacked in the face, you know? Does that make sense?
My walkout song had a lot to do with that. It was by James Brown. It's called The Boss. And basically the first, like the lyrics of the like chorus is just like it pays the cost to be the boss. And that's a lot of what I was thinking when I was in there. It's because like I'm trying to do this to build like generational income for my family and stuff, and like I want my mom to retire as soon as possible, all that stuff.
Absolutely.
And so those shots when like the one time I was up against the cage and he was just laying in a flurry on me, I had my hands up and I wasn't getting hit with like anything crazy, but I was just like, this is kind of just what it is. This is part of the job.
I guess does adrenaline kind of keep you going in that? Because like I mean, when you're getting like kicked in the leg or you know like you feel the pain, I'm sure, but like
my stomach hurt more than anything.
Really? Your stomach?
We kicked each other in the stomach so much, like we both not to be gross or anything, we both ended up throwing up blood in the back, right, and like needing paramedics over us, and like I had paramedics over taking my vitals and stuff.
Holy shit.
It was crazy. Like it like we if you
I bet that happens after most fighters though.
Yeah, if you saw how Dan Hooker looked after he fought Dustin Poirier, if you ever want to look that up, Dan Hooker looked like he was about to die.
Yeah.
And they went like 5 rounds, I think.
Bro,
5-5.
I thought Tony Ferguson died the other day.
Yeah, I did too. Oh yeah.
No, like I'm not even kidding.
I know, I was too. I was at work. I was in chills. I was kind of shaking.
No, bro, I was like I was because like I was chilling with the boys and like I honestly didn't even see the kick live because like I was just chatting, you know.
Right.
And
it happened so early.
I looked over and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And then like, dude, he was literally unresponsive.
And nobody's ever seen Tony like that either.
Tony had never been knocked out, right?
No.
Like he's never been
Justin finished him with a... But it wasn't like he knocked him out.
Yeah, he didn't get cold. It wasn't a
it.
KO.
Right, it was TKO.
But, dude, I had never seen anybody knocked out that, like, cold to the ground like that. And I can't, like, imagine. And I hate it for Tony because, like, bro, he's such a fan favorite, too. You know? Like,
the thing about that, though, is you're only going to get hard fights then. Like, you got no choice but to take the top of the bill.
It's low-key kind of, dude, I kind of like where the UFC is at right now because, which obviously UFC's been killing it the last 2 years ever since they got
way more than boxing.
Dude, hell yeah! I watch boxing. Little side tangent here. I watch boxing. And I'm like, bro, this shit is boring as fuck. They're just like you were talking about filling each other out because they got to fight 12 fucking rounds.
Yeah, true.
You know,
yeah,
like
I
the
didn't
Tyson
really
Fury
think about it
fight,
like that.
the one he just fought. I watched it. Obviously, it's Tyson Fury. You're gonna watch Deontay Wilder. You're gonna watch the big guys,
right?
And like he finished the dude, but it was in like the 6th round. Like, so like it was like, okay, I just watched 20 minutes and like it wasn't even really that cool, honestly, too. He pushed him.
And
you know, it's just a different sport.
Chael made a point that he was like, why did we make championship fights 2 rounds longer? Like when the Super Bowl happens, they don't make it at 2 extra quarters.
Yeah, do they put an extra 15 minutes on? No. Do they have a 5th quarter?
No.
That is interesting.
Longer is not better.
Because I can see that from the fighter's point of view, but from a viewer, I like to see the extra 2 rounds in it. Did you
watch Rose and Carla?
Yeah.
When you watched that after 3 rounds, did you want to watch another 2? You know what I mean?
Hell no.
But I can see what you're saying. Like, there is some fights where it's like after 3, you're like, damn.
I wish I would have saw more, especially if it ends in like, you know, by decision. Because like, even though Nate Diaz had no business fighting Leon Edwards, those extra 2 rounds were fun to watch.
Yeah.
He had no business being in there.
That was the same day of my fight.
You know? Oh, really?
Yeah. We went out to Buffalo Wild Wings.
I mean, but do you know what I'm saying, though? Like, he's not... He's past his prime, you know.
Right.
Leon Edwards is probably going to get a title shot soon, if I'm not mistaken.
I think
he had no business being in that fight, but he's a fan favorite, and he fucking was duking it out in pure Nate Diaz style, blood fucking running down his face, fucking flipping him off, getting his ass whooped. Yeah. Like, I think MMA. I even watch Bellator a little bit.
I do. You
know, I will. Like, I'll turn it on. Like, if there's nothing on, it's Friday nights. I think is when they do theirs.
That's what's so cool about MMA. There is so much film out there.
Yeah,
and it's like you can never watch enough. And that's a big part of like as a martial artist is watching film, is seeing more stuff, seeing more people from different angles, doing different stuff from different styles.
That's a cool combo right there.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I may try that on sparring the next week.
Yeah.
The more you watch, the better. It's like. And there's not a cap on how much film there is. You couldn't watch it all if you wanted to.
Would you say watching film is just as important for you as like, you know, training cardio or really
100%? It actually might even be more.
Really?
If depending on who your coach is, if you don't have that good of a coach that isn't really good at like explaining what's in their mind to you. Like I had my wrestling coach, he only cared about the top people on the team. Like we had a couple of people that were like past state champions. They were state champions in middle school. Yeah. And then like he would know that them coming into the high school. So we would focus on them a lot, focus on their moves and stuff and not really work with everybody. So it was hard if you're starting out, it's hard for you to grow that way. So
because you're not getting that attention.
Right. So for me, I just watch as much film as possible. I teach myself. I mean, my coach at Jiu-Jitsu, he's awesome. He goes step by step by step by step. There's there's a lot of steps for you to follow, right? But you're not missing anything. You know what I mean when he's explaining it.
Yeah, I feel like Jiu-Jitsu is one of those things where you almost have to slow it down,
right?
So like, you know, half speed. Be like, look, all right, when you have him right here and you're hooked on him. You take your left foot and you put your left foot, you know.
Right. There's way more angles than wrestling. Like, wrestling,
sure. It's more technical.
Right, yeah.
It's almost like, I just, you know, like I said, I've only, just a little sidebar here. I only started watching UFC to be honest, and it's cool that I get to have this conversation with you because I really am into it. Like, I follow it. But honestly, I started watching UFC during COVID because it was the only thing on.
I'm the same, bro. And a lot of people wouldn't believe that. If people from my gym, they wouldn't believe. I've watched so much film though ever since then. What was the first fight you ever watched from the UFC?
It's so random, but it was that I can like specifically remember. It was one of the fight nights. It was Derek Lewis in 2020. He knocked somebody out. I can't remember.
The Russian?
I think
Volkov?
I think it was.
Was he like losing and then he won?
Something like that, yeah. But like
Tall ass
that was
dude.
like the first card that like I was like, oh, UFC's on tonight. Let me turn it on.
Hell yeah.
You know, and that was 2020. And then ever since then, well, right after that was Connor and Poirier too.
Really?
So I was like, that was the first pay-per-view that I got hype about. I was like, this is fucking Conor McGregor's coming back.
Connor and who? Say it again.
Poirier.
Oh, okay. The second one?
The second one.
Man, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was actually
when Dustin knocked him out. I went like
honestly,
crazy.
that was a good fight though.
Yeah, it was.
Connor, let me say this about McGregor's last 2 fights, bro. He lost, but bro,
he still looked good.
He still was looking pretty sharp, bro. Poirier just was on his it's Poirier's time. I know he lost to Charles, but like, bro, Poirier could go up to 170 and he could go fight somebody. Like he really could go fight somebody at 170 if he wanted
really,
to.
Yeah. I think
he really could.
I think he heard something. He got offered
I saw
a call
Nate
back.
Diaz.
Yeah, he got offered a contract for Colby, I think.
That'd be a fucking amazing
But
fight.
it does nothing for Colby. That's the thing.
It does nothing
even
for
if he
Colby.
wins.
That's the thing. The state of the UFC right now is so weird because Colby will only fight for the belt.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm not walking out of here. I'm not walking out here unless it's for the fucking belt. Like him fighting Masvidal, I'm surprised he did it, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, if you see how he whooped him, he probably had a lot of confidence going in there.
He did. I mean, it's just, even like, because I was actually having this conversation last night. When Izzy fights Cannonier, say he beats him, bro, who's left?
Yeah.
He's beating everybody, which I know that probably Anderson Silva, like that's probably what people were saying about him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, he's lapped everyone for 10 years.
Right.
Like, who is left? But that's
I wish
part of the
Usman
game.
and Izzy would fight, but they're not going to.
I've thought about that. There's like a brotherhood thing there too. Can you imagine? Like, Izzy's much bigger than him, but like, he's longer.
Yeah.
You know, Usman's
and he's so good at not getting taken down, and I feel like that's. Not saying Usman couldn't strike with Izzy, but I really think that's not where he's gonna win.
I don't think he could.
Yeah,
I really don't. And like, I love Usman. Like, those are two. Obviously, I'm gonna watch every fight that they fucking fight till they retire. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. What's crazy about the first fight I ever watched, and this would be, I don't think a lot of people at the gym probably wouldn't even believe this. Joanna and Zhang Wei Li.
Dude, you watched that fight live?
Well, I didn't watch it live actually.
Oh.
It was
I was
waiting on Tony Ferguson and Justin Gaethje because they were the first card back from COVID, and I was just getting into jiu-jitsu, and then COVID came shut everything down. Couldn't go to the gym, couldn't go to work. So I mean, I was like, maybe I can watch some UFC and learn some things. And that was the first fight I ever watched was Joanna. It's weird that a girls' fight got me into MMA. Bro. I was so into it after that. I watched after that. I went at Izzy and Romero were the main event that night, and I went back and was watching like UFC 1, 2, 3, and I watched. Yeah. I think I watched in the first 3 weeks after finding out. I probably watched the first 70-ish UFCs. Like I just watched so many.
Dude, I got obsessed with. This is the type of person I am. When I get into something, bro, I get like obsessed. So like basically, bro, what I was doing, I'm sure you've seen the YouTube channels, MMA Access. There's YouTube channels that'll be like top 10 title fights of all time.
Oh yeah.
Or it'll be like top 10 front leg kick knockouts.
Yeah.
But like, and they'll be like, you know, top 5 worst cards of all time.
Yeah.
You know, worst main events. So like, bro, I just binged like their whole channel, and like every day I was like, oh my god. And like I learned kind of like the timeline, like, oh, Chuck Liddell was really that dude, you know, like, oh shit, fucking GSP was really that dude.
My mom was actually into UFC before I was. When I was in elementary school and middle school, like in between, she would go out with her friends to watch the Miesha Tate fights. Really? She was into Miesha Tate.
Wow.
And that was the first UFC fighter I ever heard of. It's just because my mom would go out and watch it with her friends.
Shit. I mean,
ain't that one? It's just
for me, bro, it's probably just Connor. Just, just knowing him. Like when I was in high school, like I didn't watch UFC, but like, bro, you know Conor McGregor.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
he's just,
I knew who Conor was, but like
Yeah.
I definitely heard Misha Tate before I knew who Conor
Really?
was.
I knew.
Weird.
Fuck. Why I can't not believe I'm blanking her name. Who's the goat woman? Holy shit.
Amanda Nunes,
No, not Amanda Nunes.
Valentina Shevchenko,
No,
Ronda
bro,
Rousey.
I'm Ronda fucking Rousey. Why am I had literally had her
Yeah.
her face in my head. I was like, why am I blanking on her name? But Ronda Rousey and Conor McGregor, like before I even knew about UFC, you know, played the game or anything. Those are like two fighters that I was just like, oh, these are UFC fighters. This is what MMA is.
Right.
Before I really watched it.
It still blows my mind though. Like, not to reiterate myself, but
Yeah, no,
Dana almost didn't want women's MMA.
Yes.
And if women's MMA wasn't a thing, I might have not been not even be into UFC.
That's so interesting. Like,
Because that Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Zhang Weili fight, that was
to the viewers,
crazy.
you guys need to not watch highlights. You need to watch that entire fight. It is a fucking war.
Yeah, it'll get you into MMA.
Dude.
If you show that to someone,
Was
and
that
they're not
split
in,
decision?
Yeah, probably.
Bro.
If you show that to someone and they're not in MMA, they're not going to get
Dude.
into it.
That fight, and like, what was that for the belt?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense because like, bro,
It was 5 rounds.
you're not gonna.
And it was a co-main.
You're not just gonna go through that type of beating for just some under.
Joanna's face looked like an alien after.
Dude, but she was throwing him
Yes,
back
yes,
too.
yes, she
That's
was.
the thing. Like,
Yeah.
she had a.
She looked worse than what she did to Jane. Jane looked bad too.
She did. She looked bad, but like
not
she
as bad
was
as Joanna.
throwing them back though.
Yeah.
Like she was getting hit, but she was still
Right.
walking forward. Like she was still like keeping her good
some
pace.
dogs in the women's division.
I can't get over how fucking bad that fucking Rose fight was last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever. Bro, that was the worst fight I've ever watched in my life.
If you ever pay attention to my betting picks, I have a lock every week.
Yeah.
And it was my first lock this year that I ever missed.
You're
I
like
had Rose.
100%. This is not just a pick.
Yes.
This is I know.
Yes, I had it for like 9 weeks in a row, and I really thought Rose, and I was like, no way, Carla. But then
that's what I was, bro. Carla's she's like older too, isn't she? Like
something. Yeah,
I know.
she's
Well,
older.
Rose is like in her prime, but that fight was that made women's MMA for all the people who think women's MMA shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah,
Don't
go and watch that fight. Go watch the Zhang Weili Joanna Jędrzejczyk fight.
All right, hot seat right here. Give me 2 fighters in the flyweight division that you really like to watch.
None of them. I hate all of them, man.
Really?
It's weird.
It is the weakest division too. There's only like 20 fighters on the roster.
Yeah, and anybody that knows me, just being a flyweight, I have a nasty taste for all of them. Like I just don't want to, just because I know eventually I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna be with all of them. So like, I don't like any of them.
I love the
Brandon Royval. That's one.
Okay. I fight with him on UFC. He's a boxer, right? Like he's more of like a boxing style though.
He has more submissions than knockouts.
No.
He just fought.
I did watch him. Yes.
He just fought recently.
That fucking transition.
Yes.
Bro.
Against Matt Chanel. That's who he just fought.
I watched that and I bet him live right before for him to win by submission too.
Yeah.
It was like great. Like I just put like 50 cents. Like on the undercards, I just have fun and I try and guess the outcome, and I picked him to win by yes, dude.
This is how much
on IG after that.
This is how much I don't like him though. Like he's my favorite, and me and him have actually talked on Instagram. Me and that Brandon Royval guy, and after he beat like the number 6 person in the world, he
fought some trash can.
He fought that dude that he just fought. But like I told him, like
is he ranked?
Now, like he's
probably now.
He's in the top 5 now, but he was already in the top 5, and then I can't remember exactly. I told him like, bro, like call out the champ or something.
Yeah.
Like it's all weird right there up there right now. Because they've
flyweight,
already fought 3 times. The Brandon Moreno and Davison. And he was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm gonna get it or not. And I was like,
bro, who else is there?
Right. And so he ended up getting with Matt Schnell, and I texted him too, and I was like, you're obviously gonna beat this dude, so have fun. That's all I told him.
Which he did. He almost lost though.
He did. I mean, flyweights, they be moving so fast. You're almost losing the whole time.
That
you're
was
in there.
because like whenever I watch, like, bro, it's funny because like not a lot of people can sit there and watch early prelims to the main. Like I watched the whole bitch Like that is my whole.
Yeah, I do too.
That's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
whole.
Yeah.
I watched the
Yeah.
whole shit.
Saturday, that's
So,
my day.
Saturday night, like I'm watching everything, and if I see a really good fight, I follow the person on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Just to kind of
Yeah,
keep tabs on
Yeah.
him and be like, oh man, this is a cool guy. Like I want to see him grow and see, the next time he fights.
Right,
Like Chase Hooper. I'm pissed I didn't
Yes.
get to see him fight last
Yeah.
night. I was busy, but like he was one of those guys because the last fight
He's
he fought,
22, man. He's only a year older
he's
than
a
me.
baby.
Yeah.
But what got me was his heel hook submission. I was like, what the fuck? This is like
Yeah.
there's only been like 2 ever or something like that.
Oh, I don't know.
There'd only been
I'm not much of a leg lock guy.
well, but like there had only been like he there you can count on one hand how many heel hook submissions there had been,
Right.
and he
Yeah.
did it at 20.
Mhm.
And I was like, what the fuck? This guy looks like a baby. So I followed him on Instagram and like just to kind of keep tabs on him pretty much like because I was
He's
a
funny
fan.
too. He does stuff. You know who Ben Askren is?
Yeah.
He does stuff.
Oh,
Funny videos.
I saw
with
the
him.
video where with Masvidal, he was like, "Hey, why
Yeah.
did you knock out
Yeah,
my
yeah,
dad?"
yeah.
And then Masvidal was like, "I'm sorry,"
Yeah.
and he was like, "I'm just fucking
Yeah.
with you."
Love that kid.
But dude, the flyweight division, like,
So boring.
I'm not even like joking. There's literally like 20 fighters in the
Right.
division.
Yeah.
So like,
It's light too, and none of them
It's-
talk. They,
Yeah.
they talk, and then the ones that do talk, they're talking in Spanish, and they need a
or
translator.
Brazil
Yeah.
or Portuguese or
Yeah.
like Figueroa. I mean, Dillashaw is Dillashaw.
He's a 35er. He went down to
Oh.
flyweight one time to fight Henry.
That's
and
right.
he got knocked out.
That's right,
Did not work out well.
man. You think Cejudo will ever come back?
I think so.
I've
think
been
he's
seeing
training
him.
really
I
hard.
follow him on Twitter.
I think he's going to come back and fight Aljo for 135.
I would love that. Also,
Did you see the little DC? Not to interrupt you.
No,
the
you're good.
little DC. Daniel Cormier.
Yeah.
He does these. He has a YouTube channel.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
He did
he
a
does,
sit
like,
down with
interviews
both of
and
them,
stuff.
Henry Cejudo and Aljamain, like face to face, like how me and you are
Oh,
right
damn.
now. Yeah, it was weird. It was cringy because Henry was just saying like the whole time like
Yeah.
you're not gonna be able to hang with me basically.
I don't think he is.
No, I don't think so
Look,
either.
I'm not even talking shit, but I am. I cannot stand Aljamain Sterling, bro. He is like one fighter that I cannot stand, and it's not even that like him as a person, him winning the belt by the DQ, and then winning that last fight. I'm sorry, but that was bullshit,
Yeah.
bro. That was bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, but bro, he did not win that fight because the thing is Aljo, he wants to wrestle you and shit. So Jan was like, okay, let's boogie, and he did.
I wish if it went to a decision, nobody won. I wish there was always had to be a finish. And if I hate how they're like in any other sport, they don't have judges. No, you're not watching a basketball game and seeing who did have better technique.
Like imagine if we were watching the NBA game and they didn't have the scoreboard up, and you had to just go on who you thought won.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, well I think Steph Curry made like 4 threes tonight.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson. I think Klay Thompson had a couple layups. Like that's kind of the deal.
It
Because
is.
like imagine if each round there was a live scoreboard. 1 strike, 2.
Yeah. I wish it was like 10 strikes or 10 strikes would be 10 points or like 1 point and like a takedown would be 2 or something.
like 2, yeah.
And you would see a live score and who won each round, yeah.
But that also gets hairy too.
Yeah.
That gets a little
A referee
sticky
can do
'cause-
it in wrestling and jiu-jitsu. Why can't a referee
Really?
do it? Like they count the points and a referee
yeah,
is
that's
on,
right.
on
Like,
the mat calling
yeah,
the points
it'll be
out.
like 1.
And there's somebody keeping
Yeah.
score. You could do that, I feel like. It would just be hard to implement
I would say the
a
two
scoring system.
the two things with just professional MMA is that like there's a problem is the scoring system and the fucking weight cuts, man. Like that's two things that's like they got to figure that out. Figure a better way to do that. Sidebar. So I'm sure you watch Joe Rogan a lot, but like have you heard him talk about the gloves? With
Trevor Whitman.
So,
He's my favorite coach.
Dude, they brought it. I didn't think about it until then because, like, back then I was like, I'm a dummy. I didn't know anything about it.
They're all built like that.
But
though.
it makes sense.
Your
what they were
forearm
saying.
gets so tired.
Well, but why are your fingers out of the gloves though? You know what I'm
so
saying?
you can grapple. So you can do this.
That
literally.
is true.
So this helps the grappler to be able to do anything.
That is true.
Because if you had boxing gloves on, you're like, you feel weird. You couldn't grab stuff like that.
Damn, that's a good point though. I guess I didn't think about it like that.
It'd be dope if it was
like,
more covered the fingers.
Yeah, that's
like
kind of because he brought a glove on and they showed like a prototype and it literally was like you could still.
Trevor Whitman's gloves, they're more meant for your hand to be closed, while the ones that are made, they're meant for your hand to be open. And like you have to force your hand closed, but Trevor's is like backwards. It's like you have to force your hand open if you want it open.
Dude, that's so interesting. I mean, because you can't not use gloves. I mean, bro, can you imagine? That bare knuckle boxing shit is brutal.
Yeah, do you watch that?
I've watched it before. I mean, it's
I do.
It's better to watch than regular boxing.
Right. I like. I'll watch it. I like it.
But like, think about that, bro. I mean, your elbow. Why do you think elbows are so mean? Because bro, this motherfucker across your forehead, this thin piece of skin is like a knife.
Yep.
You know,
razor blades.
And you're literally this knuckle right here to your chin, bro.
Cuts immediately.
It will cut you open.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I get it. It's damage control. I get it. Because you can't just have people. I mean, obviously people are going to bleed either way. Mm-hmm. But if we could, if they're like, okay, if we can get the cut, man, get some Vaseline in there as best as we can, you know, so people don't fucking die in the ring.
A lot of people think those gloves are to protect your head. They're to protect your hands. And with those MMA gloves on, it is not that much padding. When I would punch the guy in the head that I was fighting, I could feel my fist on his head bounce, and it would hurt my hand to punch him.
Yeah. Well, Sean O'Malley, after he beat the shit out of the
he broke his knuckle or something.
Bro, he was like I want to fight, but like, bro, my hands are still fucked up. Like 2 months later,
it really does hurt. It does hurt. Like I just have like one knuckle that pokes out, but other than that, yeah, it just hurts. It hurts to punch somebody in the head. And just in general, even when you have kind of 12-ounce gloves on, if you hit somebody at the wrong angle, like your knuckles will hurt.
Yeah.
You gotta wrap your hands every time you spar. Anybody at the gym, if you don't wrap your hands, I'm sad. I want you to wrap your hands so you don't hurt yourself.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Anderson Silva boxing?
As long as he's making money.
Have you like kept up with that sort of kind of?
He was supposed to fight Floyd on that
dude.
I only heard about it because it got canceled though.
No, he wasn't supposed to fight Floyd. He was supposed to fight on that card. Which did actually happen.
Who was Floyd gonna fight?
Floyd was fighting some I don't know. Floyd is bro,
boxing's weird.
It was in Dubai. It was like an exhibition, like how Floyd fought fucking Logan Paul.
Mm-hmm. But how do you feel about that kid, Jake Paul?
Honestly, bro, I don't think he's like Canelo Alvarez or anything. You know, he's definitely not. But like, I'll say this: he's good for the sport of boxing, in my opinion, because he's getting more people to watch the sport because the sport fucking sucks right now.
Wish he did MMA. I wish he was doing that for us.
Which is kind of...
We deserve it more than boxing.
Exactly. But boxing is a little bit easier.
It is.
Easier to get into, and maybe I'm wrong on that, but like I feel like it's easier to get into that world instead of just full out being like, all right, we're going fully mixed martial arts here, you know.
I agree. Yeah.
You know, it's just hands. I mean, it's not just hands, but like, I mean, you only got to worry about like you don't got to oh shit, he's setting up a leg kick here. Right. You know, like you only got to worry about the hands. Right. So, you know, if he feints you here, like, oh, okay, the right's coming. You know, whatever. And
what I'm about to say might offend some people, but
go for it. Let's do it.
Boxing, I would call it a fight sometimes, but I would call it a fight on accident. I don't like to call boxing fights because if you walked up to somebody and y'all were gonna fight, and you were like, "Hey, before we do anything, only use your hands."
Yeah, no shot.
Don't hit me in the leg at all.
Yeah,
like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no shot. No, because in a real fight, bro,
I'm gonna kick you in your head.
There's no rules.
Yeah,
like bro,
that too.
You watch it. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no rules, bro. Like. You look at any fucking fire-ass world star street fight, somebody's getting tackled to the goddamn ground.
Yeah. It always ends up on the ground.
And they're getting fucking beat on the back of the head, you know? Like
it rarely ends on the feet. And that's when you see a viral video, though, is whenever it does end on the feet.
Just a right hook to the fucking chin and their lights go out. Okay. Tell me. You already said it, but I want to like kind of
go over
revisit it again. Tell me like what. Let's go a little deeper here. Tell me what your goals and like aspirations are. Like, let's just speak this, you know, into the ether.
I have 3 things. I might have forgot one.
Tell me kind of like your dreams, your goals, and like kind of what you are doing to
I
get there.
Them. There's 3 things why I started MMA. 1, my mom has done everything for me in my life. If anybody doesn't know, I lost my father at 14, which was at a very young age. He wasn't very much involved anyway.
Yeah.
But
your father though.
Right, exactly. But it's just been me and my mom my whole life. I want to be able, as soon as I start making money from this, I want to make her retire as soon as possible and let her do whatever she wants. 2, I want to build generational income for my kids and their kids. And I think if I have the ability and the physical capabilities to be able to at least try, I'm going to. Yeah. I think it would be disrespectful to my future family to not try.
Right.
Because I truly do believe I can do something special with this. And 3rd, I really don't even, if I could choose, I'd rather teach the sport than do the sport way more. My goal is to be a coach one day. I want to like own a gym, teach people because when I was taught and when I wrestled, I was not taught very good. Like my coaches, like I was telling you earlier, they only cared about the top people. Yeah. And when I have a gym, I want everybody to feel like, I don't care who you are, we can turn you into something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
If you have like that like that strong,
we're gonna give you the opportunity. But like I wasn't even getting the opportunities with my coach. So I want to, and I wouldn't want to go trained by somebody who never done it or never even been in a couple fights or even went pro. So I want to finish out my career and then I'll teach, and that I'll teach the rest of my life. Hopefully, I'll teach until I die.
Dude, I believe in you, man. It's like I'm definitely going to your next fight. I don't know when it is. 100%.
The plan is September. I want to get my eyes fixed in June, and a quick touch on that. I just dropped a GoFundMe page because I'm saving up money for it. It's the surgery's $4,020, but it's not covered by insurance at all.
Oh, damn.
Because it's considered an elective or cosmetic. So and there's also a 2-week to a month recovery time that I have to prepare for.
You can't do LASIK though.
I can't do LASIK.
It's like against you posted on your story or something, right?
So the thing with LASIK, they have to make a flap to put on your eye, and that flap can get hit off. Like people in the military can't have LASIK either. They'll get discharged because if they experience high impacts, that flap can come off, and then you'll have to get it redone.
Holy shit!
With PRK, they just totally reshape your cornea without putting anything on there, which is kind of trippy to me. I don't understand. I
wear contacts. I couldn't even.
I do too.
Like in a perfect world, I get LASIK when I'm old.
Right.
You know, like that's kind of. I think that's everyone's kind of thing. Just like, look, just zap me up, and so I never got to wear that shit again.
But the guy I was talking to him, I was like, I want to get it videoed when I'm done, when I'm doing it, and he was like, it's only 10 minutes, and he was like, we've done it before for people, so I'll have the whole thing on video when people see it. And but the reason the goal is 5,000 is because I have to prepare for that recovery time because I won't be able to work.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I'll do what I can, bro.
Even if we don't hit the goal, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah. I mean, it's eventually going to happen, but anything donated would be very much appreciated.
Yeah, dude, I'll do what I can. I'll tweet it out and
hell yeah,
that type of shit. Okay, so tell me, because basically, I'm just curious to how the fuck do you become professional? So, let me just say this real quick. How do you become, like, what is it like, the journey like, or what does it look like to start amateur? Like, do you get noticed by scouts or whatever, and they're like, hey, come, because is it like how baseball has a minor league system, like single A, double A, triple A? Like, tell me what that journey looks like.
I wouldn't be the best at explaining it because I'm not, like, all the way through it yet, but, my coach would be a good person to ask about this, but he, or what I would say is, when I look at the rankings, I look at the rankings of where I'm at all the time in Tennessee. I'm like, nothing special, like number 16 in the state right now with 1-0. And, but the top guys, I'll watch them and see when they go pro because they have their pro rankings and their amateur rankings on there. They're separate. And a lot of the times, like if somebody goes 5-0, they'll go pro. Yeah. So I think it's more about like getting your experience in. And just making sure you're ready because once you go pro, like there's different rules. Like you're allowed to elbow people then. Like I wasn't allowed to elbow in my fight. I could knee to the body, but I couldn't knee to the head at all.
Interesting. So what would the next, like, do you even know, like what would the next step? Say you do go 4-0, in the next year or two. You know, you have
that's the plan. Hopefully pro by 2024.
So yeah, that's kind of what I'm asking. Like, what is it? Literally just, you know, you where did you fight at? Where was it? Nashville,
the Mill in Lebanon.
So do you just go straight from Lebanon to fucking Bellator? You know,
no,
like
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm trying. Like, is there like a in between? Like,
there's a bunch of different. What's cool is like you can still get a belt in amateur leagues. Like the amateur organizations have like belts.
Flyweight champion.
Yes, exactly, of this organization. So if you get belts in these certain kind of big amateur organizations, you can get noticed by the bigger ones. So it's all about like getting seen too, and you actually got to put the work in just about when you get into the pros. You got to put the work in now, like promoting yourself.
Sell the fight.
Yes.
That's why some people don't like Izzy, bro, because he doesn't really, he's cool.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really like stir up. Like,
only if someone says something to him.
Yeah,
first.
which like he's witty, but like Connor, bro.
He goes after everybody.
You fucking idiot. Like, you know, type shit. Khabib.
Yeah.
Or Anderson Silva. Bro didn't even speak English.
Right.
So,
I
hate
that. I know it almost sounds like bad, but I just wish you spoke English so I could hear it.
I get what you're saying. It's just hard to relate.
Yeah.
You know, because like you see.
I don't do both, so I'm kind of a hypocrite for saying that. I can't speak Spanish.
Right. Isn't that funny? This is a totally different, but isn't it funny how like 90% of the world speaks like 2 languages at least, and here we are in America, we're like, fuck you, speak English. Like it's kind of fucked up, but like that's how we are.
Exactly.
Like I feel like we should at least try and learn Spanish.
Yeah.
You know, like dude, think about how many like Mexican people and Hispanic people live in just like we went to school with and shit. Like, bro, we should at least learn a little bit of Spanish.
Yeah. I took Spanish in high school, but didn't remember that
much.
much.
Me too, but like, yeah. But like, it was just kind of like, hey, we taught them Spanish. We taught them. It's like, no, you didn't. Like, we didn't really learn Spanish.
Yeah, they tried their best.
Tell me, getting to the end here, man. You can say whatever you want, but last thing for me is, tell me any details you can on your next fight. You know, like tell me what you can. Obviously, it's not set in stone, but like what does it look like? You know?
I've heard about some events happening in September. I'm not sure which organization, but our teammates have been fighting for like Valor and Primal Combat, stuff like that. I fought for Primal Combat. It was their 3rd event that I went to.
Okay.
And but Valor's like a huge one in Tennessee, and they'll do like pro fights and amateur fights on the same card.
What kind of pro fights though? Like what is it?
MMA.
Well, like what's the promotion though? Like who would it be, like a Bellator fight or like a Strike Force?
No,
like when you say professional, like
it just means like when you're a professional, it just means you're getting paid. That's all it means.
Okay.
So like
I guess that's kind of what I'm asking. What makes it professional?
You're getting paid like a set amount show and win money. Like if those dudes were showing up, they were automatically getting $1,000 to show up or something like that. And if they win, they get another 1,000.
Yeah. Show to win.
But on my next fight, the plan is September and to get this surgery done in the middle of June.
Right.
And hopefully be recovered by August, get that camp in, fight in September. Okay. And then hopefully a second one in December and be 3-0 by the end of the year. Okay. That's the plan. Hopefully.
A quick turnaround too.
Yes. I am doing a Jujitsu tournament at the next week, actually next Saturday.
Oh, nice.
And if anybody wants to come out and watch that,
where's that at?
It'll be in Lebanon. It'll be around the same place that my fight was at. It's at the Farm Bureau Exposition Center, if you've ever heard of that. Okay,
I haven't, but
yeah.
I'm sure. I got family in Lebanon too, so I kind of know it a little bit.
Yeah, if anybody wants to come out and watch me compete, I'll be competing in 3 different divisions. I'm gonna do no-gi and gi in my weight class, and then I'm gonna do an open type weight class, which is like somebody could be 175 pounds I go against. So I'm just gonna go.
So is the Jiu-Jitsu tournament that you're doing, is that kind of just sharpening your tools a little bit?
Yeah,
like, it's not really that serious.
Right, I haven't competed.
Obviously, you take it serious.
Right,
but.
I do, but I haven't competed since that fight. So I'm gonna get back into competing against somebody one-on-one that doesn't know what I'm doing. Get some medals or something.
That's not sparring partner.
Right, exactly. And I'm also a 4-stripe white belt. Hopefully, this will be my last tournament as a white belt. Get my blue belt.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Well, shit, man. Is there anything else that you want to say? I'd love to have you back on here, dude.
Oh yeah.
Like,
no, this sounds fun. No, this was fun.
before. I'd love to have Kobe on here too.
Yes,
that'd be
a
awesome.
Trio. That would be a great
That'd be
trio.
super fun.
Yeah.
But
The only thing
dude.
I got my Instagram's the.og.swink,
Mhm.
and that's pretty much where all of my stuff gets posted on. So
Awesome.
I do have a Twitter. I just don't. I
Yeah.
need to start getting on.
Twitter's
there more.
hard to get followers on,
and
anyway,
that's
dude.
where a lot of the MMA space is too.
It is.
A lot of people are on Twitter.
It's just like it's a lot of chirping and shit. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
It's hard for me to get into.
Yeah, dude.
But this was fun. I
yeah,
appreciate
I'd
you
love to
having
have
me
you
on.
back on before and after
Hell
even
yeah.
like your next fight.
When we get the next fight scheduled,
Yeah,
that'd be a
dude.
good way to promote it.
For sure. Yeah, dude. I got a lot of really cool insight, and it kind of like tickled my, imagination because like I love UFC. Like
Yeah.
I genuinely follow it.
Hell yeah.
Like on Twitter and Instagram. Like it's.
We'll have to watch a card sometime.
Dude, I'm down, man.
Yeah.
We get Kobe over here. Like I'm seriously.
You'll have to ask Kobe some questions about watching me fight because that's
Yeah,
got to be something. Watching
exactly.
a friend you grew up with,
right. Getting
Because
punched
me
in
and
the
him
face.
known each other for so
Yeah,
long
well,
since
we used
back
to
in
live
those
in the
apartments,
apartment, yeah.
like a building over from
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, bro. That's all I got, man. We got about an hour in.
Hell yeah.
It goes by fast.
Yeah, it does.
But dude, I appreciate you, man. I hadn't had a
problem,
guest in a. It's been a minute. It's been
yeah.
weird.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Well, not hell yeah, but hell yeah. No,
Austin
you got a
Swink,
guest on
man.
there.
1-0.
y'all. Yes, sir.
Soon
1-0.
3-0 before
Yes.
the end of this year.
End of this year. Yes. And I want to go pro 2024. Be 5-0. 5 finishes.
There we go. All right, man.